We're now come to the hints and tips part of the presentation, and I've invited Rob here because he's very interested in the way the bait boat presentations go along. So we're going to start off with the basics for the boats, and Rob's going to go through with us and show what we can do and improve your ways of catching fish.
It's going to be a real eye-opener for me, actually, because I've done a lot of underwater stuff. Obviously, I've not been out underneath a bait boat yet and had a look what it does and how it presents. We've all got our ideas on what it looks like, and some of my ideas that I thought happened before I'd actually been down and seen it really blown out of the water. I've seen spods and what they do with pellets, and talking about bait boats, pellets are really what most people use, aren't they? And I notice here that you've got a mix of different pellets rather than just one different types.
Well, what I find, Rob, is with mixtures about probably around 9 or 10 different pellets, because they all they sink different times when you drop the bait. It gives them another big spread. Also, we can pump them out with the jets, so it really gives a nice big bed of feed down there. And also, I think from a carp point of view, I do get confused by the amount of types of pellets that are there. So it's hopefully it makes them easier to catch. Absolutely,
and again, you've got the advantage with the boat that you can either drop it static, or you can be moving when you drop it and create a different presentation.
There's
as well.
loads of way, and I think what you see with people with bait boats or anglers with bait boats, they just take the boat out, drop the bait, and then bring it back and think they're going to get them extra fish. But there's loads of way they can improve their catches.
Excellent.
I think we will see that during this presentation.
Well, without further ado, I shall don the air tanks. We'll get some of that out in the boat, drop it out there and see what it looks like.
Okay, brilliant.
Boat passing overhead, and you can see that already, as soon as it comes out the boat, those pellets are starting to spread out. Now, one of the most interesting things for me was how far away from where the boat dropped the bait it actually comes to end up on the bottom. It was quite a surprise seeing it. It's a lovely little covering of bait there, and you can see some bits coming down slowly. Look, there's even a bit going back up there as well. And air bubbles attached to these pellets, and they go up, and they do tend to move around the swim a little bit.
Well, that was proper interesting, mate, seeing how those things went and dropped down and spread out a little bit. It'll be interesting now to see exactly the same sort of pellet, but let's move the boat through and see what happens there.
Yeah, I think what will happen when it moves through is because you're dropping them, and the jets will just push the pellets forward a bit and backwards and just go all over the place. So it'll be really interesting to see how they come down, especially with a hook bait. Hopefully in the middle.
That's it. You can work that boat and get them to spread out even wider, so the choice isn't just a dump of pellets, it's now getting it wide.
And it's different for everyone what most people do with bait boats as well, and I think that's a real key.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure the guys out there don't want to hear us two waffling on again. Let's get the boat out and see what it looks like.
There's a boat going past, and the first thing you notice is how quickly that lead comes down. Bang, that's on the bottom. The pellets are now coming down in a much wider area than just a static drop. Generally in this presentation you'll see the hook bait at one end of the baited area and then a wider spread as well. If you want an even wider spread, then this is a cracking tactic. Drop the bait very slowly and spin the bait boat around, and the jets will push those pellets far and wide around your baited area.
Well, another few interesting findings there. We've seen that all the time with these little pellets, they do tend to spread out. A static drop, it still goes quite wide, but you can really kick it out with the movement, and also the spinning, mate. That was a good tip.
Amazing how it spins round, and what it does to the bait, it really kicks it out.
You're almost making a vortex and just spreading it all over the place. So especially over weed, that's perfect, isn't it? Because you get a nice light presentation. Now, there's going to be people out there that will want to get a nice tight drop with a good clump of bait around it. So we'll look at what is a fantastic bait. The heavier pellets, they're quite uniform in shape. We're just putting one size in, and you can do this with boilies as well, can't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Put the heavier baits in, and we reckon, guys, that when this drops out, if you do it on a static drop, it should drop nicely. If you do it on a moving drop, you can get more of a line, because these baits obviously drop a little bit quicker. Now, back out there again, let's see what it looks like.
Well, if you want bait to be very tight around your hook bait, the best thing to do is use heavy, dense, very similar in shape baits, and they've dropped straight down more or less right around the hook bait. That's only in about 4 foot of water, but you can see what a cracking tight grouping it gives you, and that will apply up to sort of 10-12 feet before they start to spread out a bit more. Just as the silk clears, you can see that is a really nice presentation, a nice tight concentration of bait, and we'll just move in those bright yellow baits, really stand out well.